Hi guys and welcome to Fandom Newbie. My name is Shruti and today I'm going to be talking about my top book recommendations for you even if you hate reading. So if you're a non-reader and you've always wanted to start reading, or if you're a non-reader who's always wanted to pick up the habit of reading regularly, then these are the books for you. These are honestly some of the easiest books to read, and also they are quite gripping enough that you should easily be able to finish them and also fall in love with reading. So without further ado, let's just get started. The first book that I want to talk about is The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri. Now this is one of my absolute favorite books. I really love this book a lot. Jhumpa Lahiri's writing style is one that I feel like I'm transported into another world when I read her writing style because it is so beautifully written. She's so descriptive. She captures the emotions of characters so well. Yeah, like she's one of my favorite authors, and The Namesake is one of my favorite books written by her. What this book is about is it's basically the story of an Indian immigrant family who has moved to the US, and it's about kind of like their trials and tribulations, story of the kids as they have to adjust to life in the US, and especially the story of our main character whose parents named him Gogol. And it's basically kind of like his coming to age story of him battling with not really identifying or liking his name, and him trying to find out what his identity is and who he is, and also him discovering the relationship that he has with his parents. It'll be something that's very relatable, and it'll be something that you will easily be able to identify with the characters, and that's why I feel the entire reading experience will be much easier for you, and the beautiful writing will just make you want to keep reading this book because it is just that good. The next book that I want to recommend is The Immortals of Meluha by Amish Tripathi. Now this also is a super duper famous book that I'm sure everyone has already heard of. The reason why I'm recommending this is also because of its absolutely simple writing. Like the writing style in this book is very straightforward. It doesn't have a lot of embellishments or really long words or extreme descriptions that will bore you. Also, this book is kind of like the fictionalized retelling of Lord Shiva's life. He's taken Lord Shiva's life and made it into this fictional world that is very interesting to read about. I feel like because of that, a lot of us Indians will be well acquainted with the characters who are there in this book. You'll be well acquainted with the stories which the author is trying to depict in a fictional manner. So I feel because of that also, it'll make it very easy for you to read and understand the story and also fall in love with it because it's a story that all of us kind of know and are aware about. The next book that I want to talk about is called Atomic Habits. Now this is a non-fiction book. It is one of the very few non-fiction books that I have read, but it is one that I found very easy to read, and it's one that I found very helpful in the tips that are given by the author. What this book is about is it basically tells us how to develop good habits and keep them, and how to kind of break the chain of us having our bad habits. And the way the author explains the step-by-step process of developing these good habits and breaking these bad habits is just so easy to digest. The entire book is filled with diagrams, and it's filled with anecdotes and examples that the author gives that really helps drill in the point of why he's saying what he's saying, and the tips that he gives are very easy to implement in your day-to-day life. They're not extremely difficult things that you need to do in order to be able to keep up with your good habits and break the chain of bad habits. Yeah, so this is one of those life-changing books that I feel like you have to read, and if you're a non-reader, I feel like this is a great way to enter into the world of non-fiction because it's one of the easiest non-fictions that I have ever read. The next book that I want to talk about is A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. Now, this book also is one of my all-time favorite books. I absolutely adore this book. It has a special place in my heart because it is such an amazing story. Basically what this book is about is it's about the lives of two women, Leila and Mariam, and it's about their struggles, and it's about their resilience, and it's about how they overcome all the atrocious things that happen to them and to other women in Afghanistan. So the way that Khalid Hosseini has kind of woven the lives of these women along with the political turmoil and all the like atrocious, horrible things that happen to women in Afghanistan, like how he's woven together these two storylines is just brilliant. It's a very, very emotional book. It will really touch your heart, and these characters will stay with you for a very long time. Like, you will fall in love with these characters and you will really feel for them. And because of all these emotions that you will feel while reading this book, I feel like you will fall in love with reading through that process. The next book that I want to talk about is Maus by Art Spiegelman. Now, this is a graphic novel. Honestly, graphic novels are one of the best ways to get into the habit of reading because they are just, again, very easy to consume, very easy to read. And because there are like pictures associated with the dialogues and the things that are going on, I feel that it's very easy to, like, I mean, you don't really need to imagine because the pictures are there, but it's very easy to kind of follow along with what the story is like, what the author is trying to tell you or what the story is. Any graphic novel, honestly, is a great place to start for non-readers, but I particularly love this one. And this is basically the story of Art Spiegelman's parents. Art Spiegelman's family was Jewish, and they lived at the time of the Second World War during the Nazi occupation of Poland. And it's basically again the story of Art Spiegelman's parents and how they struggle to escape from the Nazis and how they hide out from them, and it's their survival story through this entire process of running away from the Nazis, getting caught, and all of that. So again, it is very, very, very emotional, very touching, and just the story of their resilience and struggle is so, so inspiring. Along with the story of their struggle and resilience, the love story between Art Spiegelman's parents and the way it's captured in this book is just so heartwarming, and I absolutely loved reading it. It is just amazing and like so, so wonderful to read, and it'll really bring a smile to your face. Even though like there are parts of this book which are very dark, the love story between his parents will really bring a smile to your face and will make you feel so nice and warm inside. The next one that I want to talk about is Becoming by Michelle Obama. This is hands down the best memoir I have ever read, and it is so, so well written, and it is so, so inspiring. Her life is truly interesting. Like, there is so much to learn about her, about how her life was before she met Barack Obama, about what happened, like, you know, how they kind of met each other, fell in love, got married. She also speaks about his like race to becoming president and her role in all of that. And she also talks about how it was when he was president and how it was for her to be First Lady of the United States. I found this book extremely inspiring, and I feel like you will too, because it really talks about like the different roles she had to play as a woman, from, you know, being a young student and wanting to kind of excel and achieve things in her life, to then being a wife, and then being a mother, and then the First Lady of the United States. Like, she had to play so many roles, and the way she's explained about her emotions and the things she went through in each of these roles is such an inspiring story, and I feel that anyone who will read this will just fall in love with it. The next book that I want to talk about is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Now, this book is definitely the most like intermediate book on this list. Like, it is a bit more difficult to read than any other books that I put on this list. But the reason why I put this book is that the writing in this book is extraordinary. I don't want to tell you what this book is about, because reading this book without knowing what is in it or what it's about is the best way to read this book. But the reason why this is on this list is if you want to read a book that has amazing writing, like really poetic, lyrical, heartwarming writing that is just like, that really transports you to the place where the story is set, and it really transports you into into the character's mind. You know, you're just like sucked into that world that the author has kind of created. If that's the kind of writing that you're interested in, then definitely check out We Were Liars, because it is a brilliant, brilliant book, and I highly, highly, highly recommend everyone to read it, because it is just top notch. The next book that I want to talk about is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. This is a classic whodunit style mystery where basically there's a murder that happens at kind of like a gathering, but there are a bunch of people in a house, I believe. But a murder happens and the only suspects who could have actually killed that person are the people who are in the house. And the people in the house, I think, are kind of trapped and they aren't able to escape. I think they're like on an island or something, so that's why they're trapped on that island and they're not able to escape. So basically they have to figure out who the murderer is among them. And it is just such a classic like murder mystery, and Agatha Christie has an amazing way of writing the book in such a way that it is very difficult to guess who the murderer is. Like, there are a bunch of different suspects. You kind of go along with the investigation as, like, you know, clues are being discovered and given, and you try to find like motive and who the person might be, who is the murderer. And Agatha Christie just keeps you guessing right till the end, and then the reveal always in every Agatha Christie book is just like you did not see it coming, you did not expect that this would happen, and it is just really, really fun. Also, Agatha Christie's writing is absolutely beautiful and amazing, and I mean, like, for it being a classic, like, you know, written all those years ago, it is not that difficult to read. It is actually quite digestible and easy to read. So yeah, definitely check out all Agatha Christie books if you're into mystery and all that, but specifically And Then There Were None. The next book that I want to talk about is Sniper's Eye by Mehnak Dhar. So what this book is about is that there is a sniper, like a murderer who has a sniper gun, who's going around killing highly influential politicians, businessmen, you know, like very influential, highly influential people. So like it's a kind of like the whole of India is under a terrorist attack. And our main character, while he's out on a date, he accidentally gets caught up in all of this and becomes the next target for the sniper. Because of that, and because he wants to keep his girlfriend safe, he needs to like solve this whole mystery and figure out who it is that is like wreaking this havoc and causing this terrorist attack on India. This book, like I said, is extremely fast-paced. It's quite a short book. I think it is like either just under 200 pages or like something like 200 pages. It's a very, very short book, very fast-paced, kind of reads like a Bollywood movie. Like everything that happens, all the action scenes, all of like the drama that happens is very Bollywood movie style. So that's why I feel it'll be very relatable for like an Indian audience. And also because it is like very dramatic Bollywood and super easy to read, I feel that non-readers who, like, you know, want a very action-packed, fast-paced kind of book will really, really enjoy this. The next book that I want to talk about is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Now, this is the first of a series of 4 books, and it is a Middle Eastern-inspired fantasy book. I personally love fantasy. I feel like it is the best genre out there. I could honestly read fantasy 365 days a year and not get bored, but I do feel that as a genre, for beginners, it is a little bit difficult. Because fantasy books firstly have a whole bunch of different characters. They have like make-believe worlds which are very difficult to grasp, and most of them have like either magic or a political system that is a little bit difficult to understand. But among all the fantasy books that I've read, I feel like An Ember in the Ashes is not only easy to read for beginners, but I feel that it is interesting enough in all aspects of fantasy to make you fall in love with the genre and also to make you fall in love with the series and read more. Firstly, it has like a very, like, you know, easy to understand world. It's like not super complicated. The politics of the world are also, while extremely interesting, again, not very complicated. There are like, you know, there's like one good side, one evil side, like it's pretty easy to understand. And thirdly, there aren't so many characters. Like there are 3 main characters in the whole series, but there aren't that many that you will get confused. Also, the love story which is in this book is super angsty and like very steamy and like really, really fun to read about. So I feel like that is also something that will attract non-readers. And the last book that I want to talk about is Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. This book is one of the most hilarious, funny, witty books that I have ever read. I absolutely loved it. At the same time, it's a very heartwarming, very touching story. Basically, what this book is about is that there is a bank robber who enters into a cashless bank and tries to rob the bank. But when the bank robber realizes that the bank cannot be robbed, the bank robber kind of goes away and enters into a building where an apartment viewing is going on and accidentally ends up taking the people at that apartment viewing hostage. So it is like a bad bank robbery and an accidental hostage situation that happens because of this really stupid, dumb bank robber who doesn't know how to rob a bank. And then basically what happens is that everyone who is there in the apartment viewing seems to have certain problems in life, and being in that hostage situation along with the bank robber allows these people to talk about their problems, and it allows them to kind of come to terms with everything that they are facing and deal with those problems. And the problems which these people face are like, they are first world problems, but they are very relatable problems. They are problems about like relationships, about work life. Like, they are extremely relatable 21st century problems that all of us go through. And that's why I feel like this book is extremely relatable, and it will help you also understand kind of like the things that you are facing and the things that you are going through in life. It'll make you understand that from the point of view of like a third person, like a fictional character, and it's just very, very interesting to read because of that. So yeah, that was my video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below letting me know some of your recommendations for non-readers. What are some books that you think will get people to fall in love with reading? If you have any of them, then please leave them down in the comments. And of course, do subscribe to my channel for more book-related videos. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.